Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm Charlemagne, and today I'm actually in raid for a little bit. Alpha Wave 1 is just wrapped up, and I wanted to take the opportunity that raid was providing by having some incredible reviver summoning events to really just use some void shards up and talk about what I hope to see when it comes to summoning in Godforge. So just to set the scene a little bit, I have always tried to keep 150 void shards ever since missing out on the White King Narcy's guaranteed summoning, but they haven't had a guaranteed void pool that I have wanted to be a part of or anything to that level since then. And frankly, during the Godforge Alpha, I had minimal to no interest to play raid. So I don't know how much longer my account's going to be around. I don't know what is going to happen to my raid account once Godforge goes live at full launch, but holding on to all of these resources and maintaining this 150 plus stack, I could miss out on something, but at the end of the day, I want to take some time and just talk about what my thoughts are around summoning when it comes to Godforge. So here we go. I have plenty of room to pull 100 shards, so let's just go ahead and jump in. Senna is my most wanted champion. I have clanmates who are using her along with, I think, Titus, the Black Plume, and just getting crazy damage. I would love to get her onto my squad. We'll see if it happens. So let's go for it. The reality of summons is that Simon has actually come out and said that he believes that raids pull rates aren't that far off. And I have a feeling when he's talking about it, he's not talking about the 2x chance. He's talking about 1x. And that's because at the end of the day, he wants, and I think Fateless as a greater whole, wants to ensure that getting a legendary champion, getting that high rarity champion is something that feels awesome, that it feels epic and a huge milestone for your account, and that when we get the opportunity to pull one, it's going to have some kind of actual effect when it comes to what you're doing and why you're playing the game. No, there's that Godseeker. Let's see how many I get now. These aren't increased chances. This is just a progressive chance. I'm hoping to get that Senna, but we'll see. So knowing that about how Simon feels about summons, I don't think that we're necessarily going to see some drastic crazy boost when it comes to how easy or how often we might be able to pull legendary champions. However, with that being said, they would be kind of crazy to not have events or boosted summons or even targeted summons for heroes from time to time. We have no details at this time as to what it looks like or what we can even anticipate when it comes to the Aether Crystals inside of Godforge. And so really, we're just kind of waiting and guessing and going to see what it has in store. Now, frankly, though, when it comes down to it, I don't have a huge problem with a difference in summoning rates. What I do have a problem with is if those summoning rates are kept and then there's never any other opportunity to really focus in on the heroes we want to awaken. For those of you who have played Wave 1, and this might be coming out during Wave 2, I'm not quite sure yet when I'm going to be releasing this video, but you need a lot of heroes. And for legendary champions, you have to farm a lot to be able to get multiple copies to fully awaken, especially with Wave 1 in the, what's it called? I think the imprints, the universal imprints weren't working at all. That was a huge, it wasn't huge, but it definitely was something that even caused awakenings to be even more difficult for legendaries. And I didn't see a lot of 5-star awakened legendaries on many accounts when it came to Wave 1. And so I think, and what I hope is that, getting the legendary champion that you want on your account is going to be RNG based. It's going to be based on summons, but then universal awakening tokens, or however they name them, may become a more like winnable resource. I doubt it'll ever be something that they would farm for, but I could see events coming out and there being milestones in like a tournament or an event or what have you, that would, help you to earn that. And then you can use it at your choosing for whichever hero you're really wanting to invest in. I think that could really help players to be able to maximize the heroes they have and want to build on their account without being completely kneecapped every single time they pull, like we saw Heimdall in Wave 1. Incredible champion, very, very powerful. But like if you didn't get him and then didn't get multiple of him, you didn't get the most broken part of him, which was Awakening 5, when at basically after one turn on every single wave, you could use his ultimate automatically without it even being charged up. And so, I mean, talk about a game-breaking defender. Really great stuff. And then it comes down to just the amount of resource we gain, right? Let's check real quick where we're at. Let's see, 101. Okay, I think that was 70 pulls. So let's do 3 more. Really not anticipating anything here, but we'll see. But then it comes to like the amount of resource. Void shards, for example, are a great example. They have terrible rates when it comes to summons, but they're very hard to get inside of raid. In fact, I would argue that sometimes they're even harder to get than sacred shards, just for the fact of, you know, they both drop from clan boss. That's true. But I feel like there are potentially a couple more legendaries when it comes to Doom Tower. I think I'm wrong there. What I think about though is that when it comes to rates, there is equally difficult to get as sacred shards. At least that's been my experience. But the rates are basically the rates of ancient shards, which makes it really difficult to be able to, you know, get them and use them, especially if you're free to play, which I've always been. And so I think that one of the opinions that Fateless might be taking is that it may not be an issue with rates, more so that it's an issue with availability. And so we very well could see that there are more Aether crystals available to you as a player, as a gamer, whether you're a whale, a low spender, or even free to play, that you might be able to gain more than you typically would in a game like Raid. Now, that is a fine balance, right? Here's my last pull, I think. That's a fine balance because they could, you know, put too much into the market, and then it's just like ancient shards have become at this stage in Raid of Shadow Legends. But I just don't think that that's really going to happen. There is going to have to be a balance found, and there may be some push and pull, and guy's not a single legendary with 100 pulls. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think that there are going to be tweaks to what our experience has been in Raid, but I don't think that it's going to be such a different system that it's going to feel like, oh, well, they just broke the mold. I think it's definitely going to be difficult rates and pulling the champions we want to pull. But we'll see. I think there's another choice that players also have to make, and that at the very beginning of Godforge, we don't know exactly how successful the game's going to be. We don't know if Godforge is going to succeed. I think a lot of us will hope so, but we just don't know. But also in line with that is that at the beginning of Godforge, when there's the least amount of heroes, which even like 200 heroes is still a lot, only a portion of those are legendaries. And so really investing early on in summons and getting those early game-breaking champions, or maybe not game-breaking, but powerful champions, is going to be a big thing to be able to do. And that's up to you, whether or not you're going to do that or not, whether or not that is valuable to you, or you have the flexible income to do that or not. I know for me, at least at this stage, you know, my channel's not monetized. I don't really have the flexible income to be able to invest in a game. It's why I've always played free to play. And so at this time, I will be launching Godforge most likely as a free to play player, and being able to provide some resources for all of you who are free to play out there as a content creator early on. So we'll see what happens. Let's do 2 more summons, get it down to 51, or yeah, 51 shards, and who knows, maybe I'll get lucky. But, you know, this is the issue when it comes to Raid Shadow Legends and shards, especially for me, has always been Void shards. I've gotten a few lucky pulls, but all in all, I've really just been a downer when it comes to the voids I've been able to pull. So I couldn't help but try for Senna, just definitely with my recent mentality of Raid. I think if I pulled her today, that would have been a huge turnaround. I would have gotten, you know, reigniting my excitement to build some new teams, but it's just not in the cards. So here we go. 5. What is it? #1 champ. Yes. Exactly what I was hoping. Well, I guess I know what I'll be doing for the next 12 days while I wait for Godforge Wave 2. Uh, oh, guys, sometimes it happens. Uh, um, I hope to an extent that summoning in Raid, excuse me, that summoning in Godforge feels like this. Not to this extent of there are so many heroes and it feels so unlikely that we're going to pull what we are wanting, but that when we do get that pull, it changes our account. It completely gives us something new to play for. And also, as a small aside, you know, saw a comment today of that. Not only do we get some champions at a reasonable, investment, but that we also have the resources to be able to level and rank them and all those kinds of things. I'm going to have to get books for Senna somehow or another. I'm free to play, so they'll come slowly. But I mean, we'll see what happens over time. Hopefully, in Godforge, those resources will at least be a little bit more accessible. They have to find the balance between free to play friendly, and you know, being a company that has to make money. That's a no brainer. They have to. But yeah, so wow. Thanks for watching. This was maybe my one and only shard pull in Raid Shadow Legends that will ever make it onto my channel. But I hope in Godforge that summoning feels different, that the rates are manageable, certainly not worse than Raid, and that when it comes to awakening heroes and the resources available to them, that those universal awakening tokens, whatever they're called, that they are able to be gained in some form or fashion. Not overwhelming. Again, we want to work hard for what we build. We want to be able to invest and feel like, whether that be time or money, want to be able to invest. But wow. Guys, thank you for watching to the end. Those of you who are here, I'm a small channel, so subscribing means the world and helps me grow to my 500 goal of unlocking membership. I got to get those watch hours up as well. But thank you so much. Drop a like, leave a comment down below. Did you summon on this event? What do you think about summoning when it comes to Godforge? I'll see you in the next one.